Now I don't hardly know her, but I think
So it is 8:30 and I'm just starting to film because I just had an absolutely torqued out of my cord 5-hour pondering session. It was pretty much everything, talked about everything under the sun. Pondering definitely got done, but neglected to film any of it. Kind of violates the sanctity of a pondering session to film it, I think, at this point. Maybe later. Anyway, you're gonna come along for a content hunting adventure with your boy Tucker, and we're gonna, a lot of carbonation. We're gonna figure something out. Yeah, so I'm gonna go home probably because I'm gonna get kicked out. We're in the math section right now. I don't know if I'm talking about, maybe we don't talk about math right now. Maybe we talk a little philosophy. I've done some stumbling bumbling through some philosophy. You know what? I'll go over this book on 𝘽𝙡𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙦. If I ever heard about the term 𝘽𝙢𝙢𝙢𝙢, it's in a book called The Story of Philosophy by Will Durant. We don't talk about that. I can always find something to talk about. Don't worry about that. Got a lot more days of these coming up, let me tell you. Yeah, that's pretty much her. That's pretty much up to speed. You're up to speed. I'm hoping maybe I go home quick. Hopefully I can get this done quickly, and then we'll be good to go. I don't have to edit for too long. Probably have to edit for a while. Whatever. All right. Let us get to getting going. Also, this isn't like normal pop. Don't drink like normal soda, but this is local, and the ingredients list is like cane sugar and stuff. So it's not like totally bad for you, but it's kind of bad for you. But it's still okay. All right. Yeah, bro. Those darn cows, dude. Not a fan. Your boy just invented a new dance move. The clock. What a sweet last name, eh? Like, you already know he's goated. Oh, sorry, I gotta stop using that. You already know he's, based? I don't know what my word is for good now. If everyone's goated, then no one's goated, so we gotta have a tier structure. Gotta remain disciplined. Although Francis Bacon, he changed philosophy quite a bit, so yeah, she might be goated. Also, he became, like head of England or something. I forget the name of it. He was like Chancellor of England for something. He was like both like a philosopher and was effective, which is kind of a rare combo. Usually they're like live in basements and stuff. Not Francis Bacon. Got shit done. Shanks, Thomas. Get it? Cause thanks. But Shanks. I'm a funny guy. How you doing there, champ? You ready for the big game this Saturday? Don't let me down, son. A family name to uphold. I played this sport. Got the team letters on my back. So will you. Better not drop the ball this Saturday. I don't know what I'm doing. So philosophy. Yeah. Man, I'm cool. You ever do this in front of the mirror? You're a kid. Be like, yeah, I'm John Wayne. That's right, ladies. Take note. Oh, I know smoking's bad for you, but like, you ever watch an old cowboy movie? It's like, that looks pretty fucking cool. Like, the cool guy, like, yeah, no, that's right. I just got off my horse. That's right. Okay, we're talking about philosophy today. I'm gonna keep it short, sweet, to the point. I don't really know what the point is of this. So I'm just gonna start rambling. I'm gonna try to keep it under 3 minutes. And, yeah. So this is a book. It's a book written by a dude, Will Durant. Will Durant is really, really good. Favorite history author. Wrote a book called History of Civilization. Story of Civilization, I think. It's 11 volumes. Starts from way back when, goes up to 1800s. Napoleon is his last book. He starts with the Greeks in this book. So this book is a story of philosophy. This was his first book. He wrote it in 1929. This was his first book that made him famous for writing, and then he wrote the Story of Civilization after that. Really smart dude. And he does intersperse philosophy with his history, and he goes over why. He basically says, all right, look, history is philosophy. Every book you read is not going to be dry. You can't possibly write without infusing your own philosophy in it. So he's just kind of like, I'm going to accept that. He's somewhat neutral, and some stuff he does give the objective facts, but he ties it in with his own sort of, it's tough to describe. Really good writer. And he goes over start of philosophy in the Western sense, not the Eastern sense, but he goes over the Western canon, starting with Socrates, classic starting point. He goes to the pre-Socratics, but that doesn't really go much into it. The river guys, the river people, as I like to call them. And so Socrates, this is what Socrates does. He goes, this is Socrates for you, right? And then in there, his wife, Xanthip, dumps a chamber pot on his head, full of poo. So one could call him the original simp. It's too bad. Too bad for Socrates there. Also, Socrates, kind of annoying, because he always does this thing where he's like, you know what? Define that. Define that. So if he's in an argument, he'd be like, define that. You go, define that. Which, if you're arguing with someone like that, it gets really annoying. So points off for Socrates there. But really smart guy. He didn't write anything, so there's debates as to whether or not he actually existed. Because Plato wrote about Socrates. Plato was like the disciple of Socrates, and Socrates died. I'll just talk about Socrates and maybe Plato. So it goes Socrates, right? Socrates. Plato was 28 when Socrates died, and Aristotle was Plato's disciple. I forget how old Aristotle was when Plato died, but it kind of goes like Socrates, Plato. Socrates was Plato's teacher, and Plato was Aristotle's teacher. Those are kind of like a big three in philosophy. But then Socrates at the end of his life, he did some pondering. He was a thinker. He was a thinking guy. He wasn't really like conforming to what the state was wanting, and there were some tyrants in Athens and stuff, and they said, Socrates, you've been no good. You've been a very bad boy, and we're gonna kill you in 6 months' time. So you have the chance to leave. Because I don't think they really wanted to kill him. He was just saying stuff. I think they said he was indoctrinating the youth or something. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Kill me. And that's what happened. So he was like, it's kind of bold move. Honestly, plus moves. I'm gonna take away what I called him earlier, the simp move, because he was like, you know what? Yeah, fine, I'll do it. Play your hand, do it. And so that's what happened. They gave him some poison, a hemlock, and he did it. And he took the poison. That was 6 months later. His friends wanted to break him out of prison because it was pretty easy, and I think that was what was kind of like the thing to do. But he's like, no, you're gonna have to go through with this, which is like pretty ballsy stuff. He was also old at the time, so some people said it was kind of like a controlled. Some people were like, whatever. But I mean, for me, that's points to Socrates. That's points. And so that sent rippled waves that affected Plato deeply, and then Plato went on to do a lot more philosophizing. He did a lot more thinking. He wrote a book called The Republic. And the last thing I'm going to say, I want to do a whole long video. I got to do a live stream on this because I could talk about this forever, and it's such a pain to edit. Plato wrote this book called The Republic, and you read it, and you're like, whoa, they were not stupid. They were really smart dudes. Like, it applies today. Is what I'm trying to say is like, it applies exactly to today. It's written 2,300 years ago, which is depressing because they barely had paper at the time, and it's like, dude. Like, it's easy to imagine the people in the past were like idiots. Like, the hard times they lived through were just like, whatever. But no. It was just awful, and they were really smart, and they were seeing it all. They were generalizing, and it's just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the Greeks for you. Then we're gonna talk about Aristotle probably in one of these. We're gonna talk about Plato some more. Plato was a pretty nifty character. He was a cool guy. Ancient Greece, cool place. You had Sparta, you had Athens, you had the Dionysian, you had the Apollonian. That goes later that's later though. That's the Nietzsche extracts that duality out of there. The Hegelian dialectic, as a pretentious philosopher might say, but it's just like this and that, kinda. Maybe I'm trying to offend people. Maybe I'm trying to like poke at the. I don't know. I think it's like fun to just ruffle a little feathers because I like the philosophers. Like I mess with philosophy, and it's like, all right, fair enough. But like I think there's a healthy. Sometimes when someone writes a book like Kant, it's like, dude, could you just just make it easier to read? Like, no, it's hard to criticize him because you're like, do I even understand what he's saying? So I guess that's why he doesn't get much criticism. But I'm a point blank be like, dude, why'd you do this? Why'd you give no examples? Like, what are you doing? I've never even read it that much. I've read like a bit, and then I read this book, and he actually, if you want to understand Kant, this guy goes through it really simply, and I was like, okay, sense, perception, concept. Or sense, perception, idea. Sense goes sense, so sensate feeling, and then we build up space and time after that, out of those things, and then out of those things we have a thought. And thoughts come from like, so there's a perception of this book, it comes from the senses of like blue and color and stuff. Sense of the base things, perception is like our cognitive building of it, we put this in space and time in our perception, and then after that we come up with a thought of it. But that's way later, that's some German philosophy, and I've already gone over way over 3 minutes. See what I'm saying? It just kind of all connects. But alright, that's gonna be it for today. We've talked about some Socrates, we talked about the trial of Socrates, I'd look up the trial of Socrates, and if you haven't watched it, watch the movie, nothing to do with this at all. Watch the short film called In Shadow by Lubomir Arsov on YouTube, because it's a great one. It's really good. It gets me fired up. Gets me really fired up. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next one. Take it easy. I love you. Godspeed. And I will see you in the next one, which is going to be... We're doing some Blue's Clues thing. Ready? Where could it be? I don't know if anybody watched Blue's Clues as a kid. They do this part where it'd be like, where's the blue binder? Do you see it? But I never fell for that when I was 3. I was like, you know where it is. You're playing you're trying me for a fool. I'm not a fool. You're doing this. It's a recording. Anyway, it's gonna be tomorrow. The next one's gonna be tomorrow. So see you in that one, ladies and gentlemen. Getting to learn on a Tuesday, because today's Monday. So tomorrow's gonna be getting to learn on Tuesday. Goodbye.
Wow.